This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. Socialization is a process of acquiring other people's ideas and norms, providing a person with the necessary abilities for building him or herself and for societal participation. On the other hand, socialization may not be normative, as it also describes processes which may or may not affect the reflexive agents and may or may not lead to desirable or moral outcomes. Personal views on certain issues, such as race, may again be socialized within a society. Socialization also prepares an individual for the roles he/she is to play, providing him with the necessary repertoire of habits, beliefs, and values, the appropriate patterns of emotional response, and the modes of perception, requisite skills, and knowledge. It also provides persistence and culture. Conformity to socialization is the way a person tends to have the same behaviors as a group of people he or she is attached to. Conformity and obedience to authority in socialization are responsible for shaping or bringing up a morally upright person. The impacts of this can have diverse influences on an individual in the ways of his or her living. Therefore, this paper is going to discuss the issues of the impact of my socialization in conformity and obedience to authority and how it has affected my life. The paper will also show how these issues influenced my attitudes toward the general ways of life, my choice of occupation, and other important aspects of my life. The paper will then conclude by highlighting how socialization affects individuals. My initial socialization. My first socialization came about when I was still a little kid. I started learning the outlooks, values, and measures needed for me as a member of my family and community. An example of this is when my mother used to guide me in treating other kids as equals and not to show any discriminatory remarks or any other immoral behaviors towards them. These aspects molded me into knowing that it was acceptable to treat the people around me as brothers and sisters. Socialization also taught me to learn from them as they learned from me. In addition, these aspects have been permanently put into my conscience as I still have these opinions to date. Secondary, developmental, anticipatory, and occupational socialization. My next step in socialization was with relatives, friends in the neighborhoods, friends at school, and people I interacted with directly. This stage comprised schooling and learning to get conversant in the important behaviors as an individual in a small group or a bigger community. In growing development-wise, my socialization comprised of ways of learning behavior in the several organizations and institutions I went through that taught me how to develop my skills socially. My anticipatory socialization, on the other hand, covered my social rehearsals for the future occupations that I intended to pursue and the social relationships that would accompany them. The choice of an occupation regarding socialization has been positive because I have passed through knowledge-based communities, which have influenced the right choice of occupation and modeled my occupational requirements as well. In this capacity, and taking into consideration personal preference about profession and occupations, there has been an evident enveloping social effect. Thus, it is necessary to expand the standard view about the process of occupation choice by adding non-pecuniary factors, the influence of social networks, and the role of information and guidance policies. My choice of occupation, therefore, has been affected by socialization, which includes family, friends, society, and economic aspects. Re-socialization. This process has significantly impacted my life as it has been responsible for the change in my social status. Re-socialization helped me shade my previous behavior and come up with new ones to cope with the ever-changing world. This again occurs throughout a human being's life cycle. Re-socialization can be an intense experience, with the individual experiencing a sharp break with their past, making him or her need to learn and be exposed to radically different norms and values. Social agents. Agents of socialization are the people and groups that influence our self-concept, emotions, attitudes, and behavior. My family and friends have been at the forefront of determining my attitudes regarding responsibility, my choice of religion, and determining my occupational goals. They did this through my education, which is an important agent responsible for socializing people with specific values and skills in the community. This is also responsible for my choice of occupation, as it shapes an individual towards that direction. They also influenced my choice of religion, which is an essential aspect of socialization, as it makes people obedient to authority when they follow certain rules and principles of religion. My friends have also been very influential. This was brought out through peer groupings when we used to contribute to our social characteristics while influencing each other. It is also evident that socialization plays a significant role in influencing emotions, which comprise romance and lust. These emotions are, in turn, responsible for marriage, especially when love strikes in a social setting. In the event of such marriages, the sustenance and child-rearing will be based on the instilled social norms which were shaped by socializing. The impacts of my socialization. Socialization has evidently influenced my life because it helped me conform to authority by being shaped in the right direction from a young age. This brought me up as a morally upright person and also helped me in the selection of my occupation of choice. The realization of this was brought about by socializing with the right people who instill suitable characteristics in individuals. On the other hand, socialization can instill the wrong characters in individuals, particularly when they socialize with bad characters. This is highlighted by Zimbardo, who says that a good person can be changed by socialization if he/she is not in conformity with social norms. The author gives an example of Palestine and Iraq, where young men and women become suicide bombers who were initially good people. Therefore, as shown in this paper, new inspirations are brought about by social influence, which is instilled in an individual, mainly when they are consistent from a young age. It is also true that social influence supports moral uprightness and can produce bad social habits. This essay on the impact of socialization on my life was written and submitted by a student just like you. The IvyPanda Samples database hosts thousands of works similar to this one on various subjects. Visit ivypanda.com to find what you are looking for, free of charge.